Coach, in your eyes, what was the story of this game tonight?
It felt like there was a few stories unfolding. You know, at halftime, we told the players we got to all come back and rebound. You know, they had a lot of second chance points to none, I think, at the half. We missed a bunch of free throws in the first half. Second half, you know, I thought our guys really battled. You know, maybe they ran out of gas. Maybe, you know, we needed to score the ball. We went small, and it takes a toll on these guys, you know, to have to cover bigger guys all night, keep them off the glass, and still fly around and play fast in the small lineup. And I think, you know, in the end, you know, that just wore our guys down and weren't able to make enough plays.
When you look at this season in totality, all the ups and downs, what challenges in your eyes proved to be insurmountable?
I think the totality of it, you know, I told the guys, I told the coaches, you know, that the tough part is that I think we all grew a tremendous amount because of the adversity this year. We just weren't able to benefit from it or to see all that, you know, in this series or at this end, at this stage of the season. I think in the totality of all the stuff we face, you know, being small, missing two of our top four guys, you know, I think it just put such a strain on everybody for large stretches. And, you know, in the end, it was, you know, we played an excellent team, big, smart, you know, defensive team that can do a bit of everything. So congratulations to the Celtics, and, you know, proud of our guys for the fight after everything they went through.
Steve went small for a lot, as you said. There was also there was only Andre for 3-4 minutes. Just what would you like more about Nick and Blake?
Yeah, I think we just felt like Nick's been our most productive center at both ends. You know, BG was just had so much fight in him. You know, I thought he played well, and so we went with them. But you know, Nick's and someone that I think we've tried to save his minutes for the second half as much as possible, knowing his, you know, we're cognizant of his, you know, conditioning ability to play a lot of minutes. This has not been easy for him at times. So we wanted to make sure that we had minutes left over for the second half tonight. Ironically, you know, more with BGA in the small lineup, but you know, that was really the thinking, was trying to make sure we had Nick there to be able to finish games. You know, he's done a lot for us at both ends, and I thought that was why I think we, you know, Andre's minutes were limited tonight.
Steve, the finality of the season, what's going to be the hardest part walking out of here tonight and realizing there's no more games to be played, no more opportunities for you?
I mean, the hardest part is always you know, you love your guys, you know, you care about them. You go every day trying to help them, trying to put them in a position to grow and succeed and come together. And, you know, to have gone through everything that we went through this year, to have to, you know, say goodbye is tough, because we've fought hard to stay together through all this stuff that happened. And, you know, like I said, I'm proud of the group. We could have gone our own ways way earlier in the season, and we found a way to weather Kevin's injury and the trade and Kyrie not being able to play at home and all that stuff. You know, we had a patch of the season where we, you know, basically dropped to the bottom of the playoff picture at 10th. So, you know, with Kevin's absence, so just being able to stay together and stick around and give ourselves a chance. And although we lost 4-0, you know, our guys battled, and we were unlucky not to win game one. And then the rest of the series is basically a 4-point game. So proud of them. You know, we grew a lot. We're just not able to see it at this moment in time.
You talked about Nick and your reasons for staying with him. I'm curious what you saw from him, just in terms of the way he kept playing hard, even though he clearly was struggling at the line. And did it impact him at all?
Yeah. You know, Nick makes such a big impact for us defensively with his athleticism, foot speed, and length. Protects the rim. We're able to switch. He also brings pace offensively. You know, flying into pick and rolls, diving hard, getting on the glass. So, you know, the free throws, so we all go through periods like that. He's a young player playing in a big game, and he's a developing free throw shooter, so to speak. And so I felt for him, but that's part of the growing pains. And he's provided us with a lot the last couple months, and I'm proud of him no matter what. And I think that he'll grow from this.
Coach, we spoke about how, every game, it was kind of, you guys were right there knocking on the door, but in totality, it's 4-0. Does it feel like you guys are right there? Or does it feel like, 4-0 is exactly how far away you guys were?
It feels like both. I think you look at it, you respect the Celtics. They have a tough team, big, like I said, smart shooters all over the floor, basically. So on the one hand, I thought we were unlucky in a split second from winning game one. Had our best half of the series in game two. I think that our guys wore down and tired, and it was a big battle. Having 3 or 4 6'2" guys out there on the court in the playoffs is a challenge. And so I felt for them. We asked them to battle. You could see them trying to hide some facial expressions when we're telling 6'2" guys that you're guarding the center. But our options were limited. And so I think I respect the guys, the way they played, the way they battled. And in some ways the series was a lot closer. In some ways, you could argue the opposite, just in that at the end of the day, I think they were just out physical and bigger and stronger at every position.
Steve, you mentioned the ups and downs a couple times already. Looking back, now that it's all over, how much do you think all of the things that happened off the floor impacted what happened on it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's a big reason why, we were in that position of lack of continuity. Kevin having to carry such a heavy burden to keep us in the playoff picture. All those things off the floor play a role in what happens on the floor as well. So, they're tied, and there's no question that it has an impact. And over the course of the season, there's just too many things that held us back for moments and pockets.
Steve, obviously coming into this season, you guys weren't shy about talking about title expectations, but given all the factors that you've been talking about, do you think that this is kind of what you would have expected from the group, or even with all that, do you see this result as kind of underperforming your expectations for the group?
It's tough. I think when you add it all up, it's hard to say they underperform because they just played so few games together, so little time together. And then to be just so outsized at every position, I think it would be unfair for me, I think, to overreact and say, 4-0 in the first round. When you add up all the things that went on, the state of the roster by the end of the season, the fatigue, and if we could do all the things we went through, I think it would be harsh for me. We never wanted to give up on our expectations, even though we were, under duress. But at the same time, you kind of have to have a realistic view as well of where we were at the end of the year.
Steve, you had said, I want to say late February, maybe early March, how just getting healthy was your number one problem, and the rest will kind of fall in line from there. I mean, you kind of got that a little bit outside of Joe and Ben, but looking back, do you still think that was the number one thing, or do you think there are problems that go beyond you guys just being healthy?
No, I mean the continuity is huge. I mean, having so little time together as a group, made it very difficult. And also, for the state of our group at the end of the year, this is a tough matchup. Big team that switches everything, and it kind of definitely and it showed. I exploited where we were exposed a little bit. So, it's frustrating, but at the same time, I do look at the season and although frustrated and disappointed, you also are really proud of everyone that hung in there when we were, depleted and lost 18 to 21 or whatever it was, and came together and continued to push that we could have a chance to stay in this thing. A lot of times in professional sports, when teams lose that much and are depleted, things can really unravel. And, so, with all the, the missed games, with all the, the trade and Kevin's injury, it took its toll for sure. And so I think it would be unfair for me to, to overreact to what we look like in the last 4 games, because I thought we competed very well against an excellent team.
Both you and Kevin have talked about, the Celtics' advantages in size and advantages in continuity and being together. In your conversations with Sean, are you confident that A, you guys can address some of those things in the offseason, and B, just considering what the expectations were, that you personally will be back next season to enjoy some of those improvements?
Yeah, I mean, I've loved doing this, and love these guys. Love my staff, love all the departments. Really had a great working environment. Really enjoyed it, and want to continue doing it. I think, Ben Simmons and Joe Harris will give us a big lift. And then we'll see how the rest of the roster rounds out. But we should be excited by that. Getting 2 of your top 4 guys back, two guys with size, and one who's an all-star, and one who's one of the best shooters in the league. That gives us a big boost, and I think it allows other guys to fall back into their natural positions where they don't have to guard, big guys every night, or play against, play too many minutes where they have to do too much against big, tall defenses, where it can be very difficult for a bunch of guys giving up size at every position. So I think those guys will really help. Obviously, the rest of the roster is really key as well, and so we have a summer to work at that. Yeah, we'll see if anyone has a job opportunity to be ahead. But I really enjoyed working with my staff. They've been unbelievable as far as staying together this year. Great. Thanks a lot, everybody.